I'm the self-improvement guy, and today we're reacting to the most eye-opening 10 minutes of your life, David Goggins. Basically, we'll see if the things he says make sense and then add some value. But let's just go.
Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that we have nowadays, yeah, it's great. We're up to date. But your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death, real life. You can't Google that, man.
It's like you have to make sure that your brain is healthy and able to run smoothly, I suppose, because in every stage of life, whether you're happy, whether you're sad or depressed or whatever, everything you experience, like you experience this world thanks to, I think at least, how your brain functions, because there's so much information going on, and at least my consciousness feels more to be up here and not like to be around my whole body.
You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain, and your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways, and it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're
Yeah, if you're feeling really sad or depressed or whatever, it's probably not best to try to delete that whole thing or whatever. But maybe it's good in the beginning to just not do things when you get impulsive thoughts like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go on TikTok now or YouTube. I'm not gonna do it, and be able to intercept that and then go another direction. But I think meditation could actually be pretty good for this, because basically when you're meditating, you're getting a shit ton of thoughts, and you're basically learning to just let thoughts pass by. You're learning that you're not really supposed to not think about something, but rather you think about something else, like your breath.
If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You got to control it. If not, it's over. What existed for me was, okay, man, how am I going to make this work? And all I knew back then was hard work. The only way anything gets accomplished. That's all I heard.
Yeah, definitely knowing in which direction you're going for is very useful, because otherwise you're just going to get dragged here and there and whatever, right?
That's all I heard back in those days. You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard. I'm not getting I can't get this paragraph.
I definitely think that's part of it, but I don't think that's the whole thing, because obviously you have to work on the right things.
I can't get this paragraph. I can't remember what the f***'s in this paragraph to pass this test to get in the military. Read again. Still not getting it. Read again. But if you're not getting it, write it out. And that's how I started learning. Okay, well, I gotta write out everything I do, and then write it out again, and write it out again. And guess what happened? I got it. I can't swim. I'm negative buoyant.
Yeah, it's like some of us have a longer path towards the goal, but it doesn't mean that we can't get there. It's just that maybe we'll have to work a bit harder at some things than others have. And if it's something that's really important to you, then you should definitely just be like, okay, I'll just do it, man.
I can't swim. I'm negative buoyant. Go back again. I can't swim. Go back again. Go back again. Go back again. I got it.
So
I realize if I keep going back and going back and going back until this just becomes, your mind was safe. Okay, we're gonna figure it out.
when you're actually in that moment and doing this thing, it sounds like you're super motivated. It might even be the opposite, but still you just do it.
Your mind was safe. Okay, we're gonna figure it out, because he is not going to stop. It's not like I'm gonna try one more time. No, it's just like alarm clock goes off, boop, we're going back. I can't read right, we're going back. I gave myself no way out, and my mind realized that. They said, okay, we're gonna adapt and overcome now. Like a lot of people say, trying hard. Your mind knows, man. It knows this guy's bullshitting me, man. This guy's lying. There's no truth behind it. When I was in Navy SEAL training, people go, how were you there for 18 months? The program was only 6 months long. You were in 3 hell weeks in 1 year. No one's ever done that. How did you do that? I talk about the new norm. When I lived in a $7 a month place when I was growing up for a short period of time, I loved it. I didn't know any different. That was my norm. Once we moved out of that place, we moved to a $236 a month place. I was like, I never want to go back to that little piece of shit. But if you go back to that $7 a month place, and you realize this is right.
Yeah, it's so true. It kind of all depends to what we're used to. Before, I went to the gym 6 times a week, and then I ran that other day. And then when someone asked me how often I was at the gym, I was like 7 days a week. And they were like, what? But I was like, I wake up, then I go to the gym before I go to sleep. And I just do that. And it was my norm, so it wasn't anything crazy for me. But for them, it was like, what? Almost out of this world. And it makes sense, because if you have the belief that humans are adaptable creatures, that when we're exposed to something for a long time, then we get used to that, whether it's good or bad, I believe that's true. And then if we have this knowledge, we can then apply that to areas of our life where if we get used to this thing, our life will be better. Like if we get used to eating better food, if we get used to training, if we get used to doing some things that are good for our mind, like watching good people on YouTube, or doing breathing exercises, or meditating, or journaling. If that becomes our new norm, then it's like we level up. And if we compare it to how hard it is the first time we do it, and when it's our new norm, it's like it kind of just becomes our life, and it kind of becomes what we're used to, so it doesn't become anything super crazy.
And you realize this is where I live. This is all I got. Your mind says, Roger that. This is home. So when I was going through Navy SEAL training for 18 months, and
that's a good thing to do as well when you're in a kind of shitty situation, to just accept that that's going to be your life for the foreseeable future, however long that is. It kind of changes your mindset. For example, sometimes when I've been on a run and man, it sucks, then I'm like, this is my new life for the next X minutes because I decided to run for this long. And then maybe I have to say that a few times. Then when I accepted that this was my new life, my new normal, then it wasn't as bad. And I think you can definitely do that with just life overall as well. If you just accept that this life you have right now is your new normal, and if you truly accept that, maybe you say it a few times, then it's like, oh yeah, cool. Because even if this new normal is worse than what you had back in the days, it won't serve you to feel bad about, yeah, I'm in this place now, but I was in that place back then.
So when I was going through Navy SEAL training for 18 months and going back through all the hard parts over and over again, I told myself after the first time, I knew it was gonna be a long journey there. My body was breaking down. It was just how it was going on. I said, you know what? This is my new norm. So my mind said, it's like going to work.
So good, man.
Like you go to work, you put your suit and tie on. I go into suffering every day. Every day, suffering, being broken, duct tape.
Even if it is like this eternal dark abyss in front of you, you're like, man, this is my new normal. And then you just start chopping, getting forward. And I think your existence will be better because of it. Because your mind will be in a better place.
Every day, suffering, being broken, duct taping my feet up, stress fractures, shin splints, being broken. This is my new norm. And your mind says, if we're not broken, this ain't normal. We gotta be broken. So then your mind starts to get tougher and tougher and more callous. People, how did you run on broken feet? Broken shins. My mind knew this is how we operate. We're in Navy SEAL training. This is what we are. I became hell. And that became my new norm. I gave myself no way out. There was nothing outside these walls of hell. Nothing. I love God. But for a short period of time, I became the devil because that was hell. I became the boss, the owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training. That was my mindset. And that's how you get through things. You put yourself, you immerse yourself wherever it is, and you become that.
That's so
you become that and give yourself no way out.
That's so good.
When I was 297 pounds and I was fat as hell trying to be a Navy SEAL, the scariest thing in the world to me, even to this day, was that could have been the rest of my life. I thought then I was trying hard. That's the scariest thing in the world. I thought then.
And it's like right now, I'm thinking I'm trying hard. And probably in a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm gonna look back and be like, man, you weren't doing shit. Potentially. At least I believe I'm probably going to be doing more then.
I thought then, 297 pound, working for Ecolab, spraying for cockroaches, making $1,000 a month. I thought that was me at my 100% potential.
So,
Come to find out, a few years later, I wasn't anywhere near that. 106 pounds less, graduate Navy SEAL training, went on to do all these other things. Looking back on that, that was me trying hard. That's why people gotta understand, what is in us, we have no idea until we start trying hard. And I mean really trying hard, where you're obsessed with, hey, this is my new norm. My new norm is that, wow, this isn't always fun. It's not always meant to be fun. And that's when you know you're trying hard.
so
People hear my story and think this guy is sadistic. I realized how the brain works. I figured out how the brain works. I'm a scared kid, and that's what gives me so much power. I had no foundation, and I built this off of just researching the mind. The feeling you get is basically invincibility. You realize that you can't do it all the time. When you need to do it, I know I can go to a place that I can live in. And when you know that you can run,
that's a crazy thing to actually be able to feel for real. A lot of people probably say, oh yeah, I can tackle whatever. But when you have legitimate proof of you going through crazy things in the past regularly, and actually knowing that, yeah, if I got this obstacle, I will be able to get through it. So.
And when you know that you can run on broken legs, and you can do certain things that a lot of people can do, but they're not willing to do.
Ooh.
This power,
That's deep.
this sympathetic nervous system of fight or flight in your...
It almost seems like he's saying, I'm not doing anything that you can't do. It might just be that you're a decent amount of way from being able to do it, but if you put in the time, the effort, and grind hard, become obsessed, then you'll be able to do it too. Which I actually think is true, but it's really cool.
This sympathetic nervous system of fight or flight in your fighting, it gives you this charge of energy of when you're sitting there at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and you're duct taping your feet up because they're broken, and you're doing it by yourself, and you're going through arguably one of the hardest training in the world. And these guys, most of them are healthy, and you're going through it broken.
Yeah.
And you're already at a disadvantage, but you're still there. You can feed into that and tap into that for a lot of power. But if you look at it, well, I'm broken, man. I'm not gonna make it. But if you look at it as, man, I'm broken and I'm still here.
Yeah, it's like whatever situation you're in, you can look at it with a certain perspective, and then you can draw a lot of power, a lot of energy from that.
Like, I'm not gonna make it. But if you look at it as, man, I'm broken and I'm still here. And I'm fighting, and I'm gonna find a way to get through this, because I have no other place to go. It gives you a lot of power. When things start to suck really, really bad, my brain and a lot of people's brain, they don't go to your dad beating you up. Your brain says, we gotta get the out of here. This is miserable. So anger goes away a lot of times when you're suffering, because your brain just says, we gotta run, we gotta go. So that anger is not popping up saying, oh, I'm gonna show them, I'm gonna show those people. No, there has to be a much deeper, when I say deeper, it has to be down to mineral soil. It has to be down to that nice mineral soil where nothing can burn. You can't burn dirt. So it has to be down that low, that literally is something in you that's at the core of your soul. But you don't find it unless you spend a lot of time with what you want to be in life. I can't give that to you.
Right.
You can't give it to somebody. When you find your true passion in life, and my passion for me was like, oh, I want to be, I don't give a Navy SEALs, Army, I don't give a shit. I want to serve my country. I want to be someone that I'm proud of. I want to look at myself in the mirror because I was so disappointed. That accountability mirror I talk about, I was so disappointed in what I saw every day. I wanted everybody to love David Goggins. And a lot of people did. I didn't love myself.
That's the most important.
But I knew
too.
a lot of us want to find peace first.
Because you can't control how other people think, what they feel, but you can control basically everything about you, especially your feelings and stuff. And the person you will be most with in this life is you, because you'll be with yourself every second of every day. So wouldn't it be logical that if you were to try to get someone to like you, for it to be you?
But I knew a lot of us want to find peace first. So people say, man, you always talk about this suffering and pain and I'm at peace right now because I went through that. Right? You don't find peace first. If you do, Merry Christmas. More power to you. More power to you.
Interesting.
I found peace on the opposite end of finding myself.
Yeah, I think you could find peace before, but I don't think the quality of that peace is as good as when you've done a lot of hard shit, because that kind of just changes the way you view life, I think, especially if you do it regularly.
And no one really finds themselves without going through trials, tribulations, suffering, accountability. And accountability is suffering. Being accountable every day for doing right for yourself, for the people next to you, it's miserable. It's hard. So, you know, even the smallest details.
That was good, man. But basically, if you want me to react to any specific video, then let me know and have a good day. Peace.